Rev up your engines! Alright, you've seen my videos where I use a $6,000 scan tool to fix cars that do almost impossible to understand data. But what can you really fix with a $35 scan tool like this? You might be surprised the technology that's behind these little babies today. Now, I have over 100 scan tools in my garage that I tried out. Anything from $8 plug-ins that use your phone that are actually dangerous, they might destroy your car, to $6,500 scan tools. But I have to say, the CG Sulet, I changed the name, kind of a stupid name. They're SC204. For 35 bucks, you can figure out a lot of stuff on your car. Even if you're not going to fix it yourself, you get a good idea so you don't get ripped off at a mechanic. Anybody can plug it in. You just go to the data port, which in this case is right here. It only plugs in one way. That's it. Then you simply turn the ignition key on. The car not started, but the idiot lights are on, and it automatically will connect to your vehicle. And as you can see, it's on OBD2. Now it's connecting. It does this automatically, and as you can see, it's then ready. It can read codes. It can erase codes. It can do live data. When you have a trouble code, it will show the freeze frame data. So you check engine lights on. It's got a code, it'll show the code, but it's a lot more than that. You can then get the data of when the code happened. It'll tell you what speed the car was going, what kind of load, so you can try to figure out why that problem occurred. Realize these are generic codes. OBD2 are generic codes. A code can have many different causes, but this machine, being able to do live data, can delve a lot further into it. And let's say you need your car inspected. You can see if it's ready. You go to I am readiness. It shows misfire's okay, fuel's okay, CCM's okay, the cat's okay, EVAP system is okay. Now you can see some of the data says NA. That means not applicable. This is an older car. It's a 2007. So it doesn't have a lot of the information that newer cars have. But it still gives you a lot of information how to fix your car. Is it going to pass the emissions? That showed it is because they were all okay. Let's say your car doesn't pass the emissions because the check engine light's on. You can use this. Find the code. Look at the data. You fix the problem. You can erase the code. Then, of course, it won't pass the test because it has to do a road test. It has to go through all the checks. But with this I am readiness, all you have to do, click on it, then it'll tell you if it's okay or not okay. So as you're road testing the car, the machine will show you if it's not okay. You keep driving it until they say okay, then you can get your car inspected, and you don't get hassled by them trying to sell you something, saying, oh no, it's not going to pass the inspection. And sometimes if you're lucky, let's say your car doesn't pass inspection, a lot of times those codes take a long time to trip. So you can use this to erase the codes. As you can see right here, you erase the codes after you fix the car. Just a simple button push, it erases the codes. And since we erased the codes, you can see there are now red ones here. These reds, right? So all you have to do is drive the car until they turn green. And realize because of the nature of the beast, you can have one mil not ready, and these are the lights not ready, red, and it'll be able to pass the test. Two, you'd fail. This little machine will tell you when it's ready. Understand one thing, you're paying a mechanic to fix your car. General professional mechanics today will charge anywhere between $100 and $150 an hour working on their car. If they're working on your car and they gotta drive that thing around for half an hour or an hour, you gotta pay for that. This whole little machine only costs 35 bucks. Definitely worth it. Even this little cheap $35 tool. Look at the information in it. It goes from Buick, BMW, Ford, GM, all the way down, even Lamborghinis, all the way up to Volkswagen. And of course, this is a Toyota Matrix. Does various ID tests. Look at this. To the module, tests. Show the minimum, show the maximum. Now remember, this is only a $35 tool. Check out the live data. Not only can you view the live data, but you can record it during the road test to find a problem and then play back the data. So let's say you got an intermittent problem. You record the data, you drive the car around. When it acts up, you stop recording, then you play back the data and find where the glitch is. All this is a $35 tool. Going to the live data itself, this is an old car 07, but still, you're getting an awful lot of data that you can look at to figure out what's wrong with your car. But check this out. It does live graphing too. This is a live graphing of the mass airflow sensor in color. This $35 scan tool does live graphing in color. Here's live oxygen sensor reading. Let's say you got an oxygen sensor code. You can see if it's dead and flatlining. You can see if it's going up and down like it's supposed to. You can see if the vehicle's running rich or lean with a fuel trim. Running lean, maybe you got a vacuum leak. An awful lot with one of these $35 scan tools. Now, of course, it doesn't work as good as my gigantic $6,000 one. As you can see here, this is the playback when you record data. It can only record 3 different playbacks. Or my fancy machine can do thousands of them. It's got giant computer memory. But really, hey, it's $35. You got a problem, you record the data. Then if you want to try something else, you just erase that data, start memorizing that data and analyzing that. Let's say you're looking at a used car. Bring one of these, plug it in. The first thing you'd want to do is put it on the I am readiness to see if it'll pass. Now, whether you live in an area that is emission testing or not, that information is very important. Because if you're looking at a car that has problems, the biggest trick in the book is people selling it, use a machine, erase the code. But if you go to I am readiness, and instead of seeing what I showed earlier where they were all green, that some of them are red, that means they reset it and it's not ready yet. Even a little $35 scan tool like this can access information that people can't hide from you. So it's an invaluable tool if you're looking at a used car. But let's say, even if you're not working on a car like I do, this gives you so much information, and information is power. Even if you're not going to work on your own car, you say, my check engine light's on. You don't have a tool like this? You go in, oh, my check engine light's on, fix my car. What sounds better? My check engine light's on, and it's P6214. I've looked at this. The fuel trims are getting too rich or too lean. Can you please figure out what's wrong and tell me what it might cost? To show a mechanic you're educated. They're not going to be able to pull a real fast one on you. Now, you might say, oh, I can't figure all that stuff. Yes, you can. It's very simple. Fuel trim is either a negative or a positive number. If it's a negative number, it means your computer is subtracting fuel from the engine, meaning your engine is running too rich. It has too much fuel, so when it's a negative number, it's subtracting fuel and your engine is running too rich. And conversely, if your fuel trims are positive, let's say it says plus 7.5. It's adding 7.5% fuel. That means it's running 7.5% too lean. So that means your engine is running lean. And if you're not going to figure it out yourself, you're a lot better off giving this information. Plus, you take your car in for a problem. Before you do use one of these scanners, if you want, you can record the data or you can write it down or use your phone and take a picture of the screen. Let's say you're running at 7.5 long-term fuel trim. It's adding 7.5% fuel, right? Then you spend a bunch of money, get your car back, you look at that data, and it's still adding 7.5% fuel. That means they didn't fix it. And you can go back with raw data and say, look, you didn't fix it. These things are invaluable, even if you're not going to work on your own car. And of course, they're invaluable to take on road tests. I just leave one in the trunk of my car anyway. Say you're going on the road, check engine light comes on, you're freaking out. Oh, is it safe to drive my car? Can I drive my car? This is going to read the code fast. Could be something dumb like small evap leak in your evap system. The car will run perfectly fine years that way. No worries at all. You can have peace of mind when you're driving down the road and not worry and get ripped off when you're on vacation. You're hundreds or thousands of miles from home. Car has a problem. They see your out-of-state plates, boy, they start counting their money. Peace of mind for 35 bucks. It's just an invaluable tool whether you're going to fix your car. You just want to feel safe in the car. Know what's going on. These are totally intuitive. Anybody can use them. You get data, you just scroll up to go to one data, down to the other. Green to say that's the data you want, and you want to go back a page, you push the red button and go backwards. One, a $35 scan tool can do an awful lot. And two, if you think, oh gee, I don't want to waste my money on a scan tool, help saving money buying one of these. You're not going to be stranded wondering, oh, are they ripping me off? The check engine light came on. I got to turn my car off. I can't drive it now. This is going to give you all the information you want. If you want to learn how to fix your car, you can do a lot with this. Just watching my YouTube videos. See what I do? This does a lot of stuff the big scan tools do. Now, I've seen some that are absolute crap. Rare you're going to find one for 35 bucks that does live graphing and all this stuff and records data. You don't find too many of those. It has so much technology. It probably has more technology than the average person is even going to make use of. And on the plus side, you're not going to be overwhelmed with data Like my $6,000 scan tool, I did a car store the other day. I had to analyze 380 different types of data. This is not as overwhelming. You can learn a lot from them. It can save you an awful lot of money. Particularly one works quite well too. And believe you me, I've tried out scores of these things. Certainly go higher price, and you can certainly go lower price. I would never go lower price than this $35 one for what it does. And a lot of the expensive ones are overkill for the average person. This does an awful lot for 35 bucks. So if you never want to miss another one of my new car repair videos, remember to ring that bell.